Hello, welcome. Hello and welcome. I'm Dan, your friendly fishmonger at dansfish.com. We do this every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. That's 9 Eastern for those who are Mountain Challenge. Thanks for being here. Thanks for spending a bit of your Wednesday evening with us. We appreciate it. Today we're going to start with the shipping report, and it's a good one finally. And then after that, we're going to get to our giveaway. And then we're going to get to your questions and comments after we show you some amazing new fish that we just released here at Dan's Fish for Sale. So that's the docket for the day. Let's start with our shipping report. It's a good one, finally. So we've made a few adjustments on how we use heat packs, and also it's cold enough now that it's pretty straightforward using the heat packs. Those edge seasons where we, go from fall to winter and then spring to summer, and it's cold some places, hot others, and on route sometimes it's cold and then hot where it's going to go, and there's all those variations. That's the most difficult time to ship fish, believe it or not. When it's bitter cold out, it's easier to ship fish than when it's just kind of cold out, because then you know exactly what to do with the heat packs. So we're kind of getting to that time of year where it's like pretty straightforward what to do. There's a lot less guessing. And so we have, last time I talked to our percentage, our success, sometimes I can't talk. Let me try again. Our percentage of success shipping fish to our customers, that means the fish arrived alive and arrived in good shape, not just barely breathing, but arrived alive and in good shape. Fat and sassy, as we like to say it, arrived fat and sassy, was 98.52%. Today, it is 98.55% success rate. So we've gone up towards our goal of 99%. That's a really difficult goal. A lot of places have a goal of 5 to 10%, and those aren't places that ship live animals. That's like a hardware store or something like that. I believe Aquarium Co-op's acceptable error rate is 5% or something like that. So, and that's pretty good. But we're dealing with live fish. We ship live fish to customers. And so we want to make sure that we're doing as well as possible, because if a wrench has a problem, if I sell hardware online and a wrench has a problem, that irritates the customer, but it's not like you're killing the wrench, right? The wrench was never alive to begin with. With fish, if a fish dies on the way to the customer, doesn't arrive in good shape for the customer, then A, the customer is unhappy, just like if they got a bad wrench. But B, you also unnecessarily killed an animal. And that's what we're trying to avoid that. So our goal is to get to 99% success. Well, we want no losses whatsoever, but that's not realistic. But 99, I don't know if it's realistic, but I think it's a healthy goal. At volume, at scale, is it realistic? I don't know, but we're doing our darndest to get there, and we'll see. We're not going to stop till even when we do, we won't stop. But that's why that goal's so high. And we're doing pretty well. 98.55% success. On our way to 99. So that's the shipping report. Now let's get to the giveaway. This is a very good one. I think this giveaway is quite nice. So the giveaway for today is a pair of these amazing solid yellow Highfin Variatus Platies. And I would show you pictures online, except solid, like yellow Highfin Platy. The problem is I can't hardly find any pictures online of this fish. I find our pictures. This is similar, but they're calling that the orange Highfin. That's from Aquarium Glasser. These are not the same. Those are sunrise. So I literally don't know anywhere where I can find pictures of these other than my website. So why not just go to the website? They're absolutely stunning. They get these nice high fins on them. Now, that will improve as they grow. These pictures are fish that have had time to develop that. The females don't all have a high fin. That's why I put her here. Just want to show you that on the female. Some do kind of have a highish fin. Some don't. But the males get these nice high fins, especially with age. So the fin might be smaller now, but as they grow, it should turn into a really nice, beautiful fish. And I don't know where else you can get them. I've literally looked everywhere. I don't know where to find the solid yellow Highfin Variatus Platy other than here at Dan's Fish. They're not the cheapest fish. They're about 50 bucks a pair, but they are stunning. They're kind of just something you don't see around. So we're going to give away a pair of those because I think they're special, and also because we have a ton. Our breeder was able to get us a bunch of them, so we have many available. So we wanted to make people aware of them so that we could sell them. So it's not all altruistic. We are trying to make a living here. Solid. Okay, so I just did the Nightbot. So if you would like to enter a pair of these platies, just type hashtag yellow in the chat. Hashtag yellow. That's hashtag YELLOW. No spaces, caps don't matter. And you'll be entered to win a pair of these awesome fish. So that's a $50 value plus shipping, which, what's that, 50 bucks these days? I think our small box is like $39.99. So yeah, that's quite a value. And I hope you like them. I generally, when I talk about fish I really like, everyone else likes them too, but every now and then I geek out hard on a fish and everyone else is like, no, we don't like that. So hopefully if you get these, you like them as much as I do. Their care is the same as any other platy. They're just as hardy. We haven't found them to be any different. They breed all the time. We have babies constantly. And yeah, they're just a kind of platy you just never see. Oh, there's something else I wanted to do before we moved into kind of the cool new fish that we have available here at Dan's Fish. We just released these today. And that is, I wanted to see if anyone's having trouble with the L183 plecos. That's the, oh, what are we calling those? Common names, man, I tell you. They're the bane of my existence. L183. These little guys, the Starlight Bushy-Nosed plecos. We took them down. We have a group that we've been selling. We took them down, though, because we've had some losses in shipping. I think 3 losses this week. We sold a lot of them, but we lost 3 of them, and that's really high for us. We shouldn't be losing that many. These cute little guys. So I wanted to ask if anyone else here has lost any, or if anyone else here has bought any, what's been your experience? Did you lose them over time, or did they do well for you and grow? I just want to get a sense of how they're doing for people, because that'll help me kind of figure out what I need to do before I sell them again. For now, we're going to take them down for a while, feed them heavily, and just give them some time. But if people are noticing things, then that might help direct me in how I deal with the situation. So just trying to figure those out, and your help would be appreciated. And the last thing is, when you get fish from us, if you wouldn't mind emailing us with their temperature, the temperature of the actual water in the bag, that's what's important to us. That'd be very helpful, just to know that as we ship all around the nation, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, and Canada, although not in the dead of winter. And it just helps us kind of get a better sense of if we're on the right track. The more data we get, the better we are at our job, the better we know what to do. So if you don't mind doing that, when you get fish from us, if you would, when you open the box, just take the temperature of the water and shoot us an email to hello@dansfish.com. That's HELLO@dansfish.com. Let us know the temperature of the water, and that would be greatly appreciated. And that's what we need. If you just take the temperature of the box, like you open the box and take a temperature from the top of the bags, you might be reading the temperature of the plastic on top that's been right up next to the heat pack, and it might read really high. So if you wouldn't mind taking them out of the box and actually measuring the temperature of the water, that would be awesome. Okay, with that, let's see here. Where do we want to go from here? Calibrating shipping, so temperature reports would be good. I think we're doing pretty good, but the more data, the better. Help us figure out what's going on with the L183 plecos. See if anyone's had problems with those, so we can calibrate that. The giveaway of the awesome solid yellow Highfin Platy, which is, I think, one of a kind. You don't see them around, And the shipping report. Yeah, we are ready then, I think, to show you some awesome fish. Before I do that, I want to shout out our affiliation with Aquarium Co-op. So if you go down to the description of this video, you'll see a link. If you click that link, then if you order from Aquarium Co-op, we get a little kickback. So that's very helpful. And we're doing that for Aquarium Co-op as well. If you go to their website and click on Buy Live Fish and click on the link there to Dan's Fish, then you'll get a little discount and they'll get a little bit of each of those sales. So we're kind of, you know, it's a, what do they say? One hand washes the other kind of thing. It's hard to high five by yourself. You need two hands, right? So we're doing that for them. They're doing that for us. So anyone that would participate in that, that would help both our companies out and we'd appreciate it. I got a box of goodies from Aquarium Co-op. I got the sponge filters with the new Easy Flow on them, and I love that. I put a community post on. I don't geek out about hardware much because I run really simple systems, but that is awesome. What they did is they made it so you can attach the airline without having to take off the rigid hose on top of the sponge filter. So you can still get the benefit of having the pipe on top, because that'll suck more water up and you'll get better flow through the sponge filter. But you don't have to remove that every time you want to put your airline on or disconnect it to clean the filter or whatever. And that's awesome. I've been griping about that for years, and someone finally came along and fixed it. Plus you get a lot more airflow, which is really, really nice. So that's the first piece of hardware in a long time that I've actually geeked out about a bit. Because I don't use a lot of stuff, but that made sense to me. And I also got some of their pre-filter sponges because I have a problem here. We put a lot of water in our tanks. Every tank gets a 100% water change every, call it 1 to 3 hours, depending on the tank, the species, and how high we have the flow to that tank. I think that's something like that. So constant fresh water going through our aquariums. And it drains out of a bulkhead. And on that bulkhead is a strainer. And the problem is we have shrimp in some of our tanks, and we don't want baby shrimp getting out of the strainer. We have very small fish in some of our tanks, little tiny chili rasbors or coolie loaches. Coolie loaches are the worst, right? They'll find a way to wiggle through a strainer. Stiff it on Annie, very expensive, beautiful little goby. You don't want that thing escaping through a strainer. So we put these little sponges on them to kind of try to stop that. The problem is the sponges are the porosity is so fine that they clog very quickly. And every now and then we'll come in the morning and there'll be water on the floor and we're like, oh shoot, which tank was that, right? And so Corey was kind enough to send me some pre-filter sponges, and I'm gonna try them. They have, I think, a 25 pores per inch is their porosity, which is nice and porous. And those arrived today. So I'm gonna put them in our main problem tanks. The scud tank is the worst because when scuds get into stuff and eat and stuff, they create all this fine detritus, and that gets clogged right up in the sponge filter, the pre-sponges we're using that are so fine. So I'm curious to see how the coarse ones do. So I'll be testing that out. But we don't use a lot of hardware here, but there's a few things that the Co-op supplies that I'm interested in learning more about and seeing how they do in our system. So anyway, with that, let's show you some awesome fish. So we've got to get to the website, go to Dan's Fish, and here's the new stuff. Okay, these are amazing. These are the CW14s, same as CW23s as far as we know, the red laser Cory. They found a Cory that was a red laser, called it a 14. They found another one that was similar but maybe different, and they called it a 23. Now, as far as we understand, I'm not a fanatical Cory expert, but as far as I understand, they're the same, so the first number would take precedence. So we're calling them CW14s, and they look great. A lot of times you get red lasers and they just look like CW10s, the gold lasers, but these look different. They actually have like an orange reddish stripe on them. So really, really happy with these guys. The flame paradise fish, I think they're stunning. Another flavor of paradise fish, a new one that I'd never seen before, and they just look great. Now, if you look at the tails, they have been a little rough on each other's tails, I think is what happened, but they're healing up. I think when they were in the bag, all kind of crammed together during shipping, that there were some some issues perhaps. But they're healing up and looking really good. I love these. This is the glass-tail Highfin red albino guppy. Ooh, that's a mouthful, right? So it's a beautiful high-finned red albino, but it has that kind of glass quality to it in the tail. I think they're really cool. You have the glass belly guppies that folks have seen, right? You can see the babies in the belly really clearly. But here's another form of the glass guppy. I'd never seen that kind before. Highfin pineapple swordtails. We've had the albino Highfin pineapples, but never just your standard pineapple. And then here's what the albino cousin of them looks like. That's the same fish, it's just the albino version. Red wag cauliflower swords, really pretty. I need to get a picture of a male. Albino leertail swords, and then these I have to show you. So we've had the albino pineapple Highfin veil tails before. We were able to get another one. This is the albino orange Highfin veil tails. Look at this fish, look at that tail. Like it, just like the other one, it looks like something out of Fantasia. It's just crazy. Now if you look closely, you'll see something. You'll see these lines in there in the tail. These tails are so long and delicate, they do easily get little tears in them, especially when they're shipped to us. So yours might have some tears in them. They will heal with time, but just be aware of that. These are very delicate finnage on this fish. Then this one, I just love the pose here. And then here's another picture of them. Only the females develop these really nice veil fins. So we have 7 of them. First time I've ever been able to get them. First time I've ever seen them available. More of the fancy sunrise platies. These are stunning. This is a really cool swordtail. This is the albino Highfin kohaku. And just look at the fin on these guys. And I'm going to show you several so you see the full variety. So look at this guy. Woo! Then here's a female. Her fin's not bad either. Here's another male. Here's a female, and then there's a male in the back. You can kind of see his fin in the back, but it wasn't quite in focus. Here's a different male, really nice finnage as well. Oh, I'm sorry, here's a different female, really nice finnage as well. Then a couple more in the background, but all of them have this really nice finnage, males and females. In some of the live bears with the high fins, it tends to be the males that get it more. Like those solid yellow Highfin platies, the males get it. Some of the females kind of get it, but some of the females don't really. So this is my first time ever seeing this, and I'm sorry they're so expensive. I know they are. I had to buy these from a breeder in Europe, and they only had, I don't know, I think we got 20 from them or something. Like that's it. And I'm not gouging you, I promise, when I charge these prices. It costs me a ton to bring these in. But whenever I find a new fish, I tend to go ahead and pay the price to try it. And these are pretty cool. They're highly variable though. Some of them have some red in them, and they have these dark stripes on them, which remind me of a wild type platy. Here's a female, still has a highish fin on that female. Here's a male. This guy's got a lot of yellow and red in him. He's still got the blue, but he also has like all this coloration. So really variable. Then here's another male. Looks similar to the first one. Might actually be the first one. I don't think so, actually. I think that's a different one. Then here's another male. Nice iridescent blues, nice high fins, and some extensions on the tail as well. But I just want to show you that so you know that they're variable. And I don't know why exactly. Usually when I see a variable fish like that, I'm like, yeah, it must be a fairly new strain, right? The line isn't that old. So it's throwing blues, but there's still other variations. It hasn't been worked to the point where it's really clean. And then shout out to Simply Betta, another affiliate of ours. We have the white wizard snail. Simply Betta made a video about her tank that's kind of Lord of the Rings themed, and there's a white wizard snail in there, of course, because, you know, Gandalf. So that's some of the new stuff that we've just released. We got another import in today from Aquarium Glasser and some other breeders in Europe, as well as some breeders in Israel. So we will be having some more fish for sale in a couple weeks. It always takes us at least a couple weeks to get fish through quarantine. But it's been a heck of a day. We sent out, I believe, a record number of fish today. Johnny, is that true? Did we set a record today in the number of fish we sent out? If we didn't, it was darn close. So busy day packing fish all day. Then an import arrived. Thank goodness there were no, like, you know, delayed flights or anything, and it actually arrived when it should have. Often they don't come until like 3 a.m. in the morning or whatever, depending on how flights go. But this one actually arrived in time that we could get that all unboxed and taken care of, and then I could still make the live stream. So it's been a non-stop day, but it's been a good day. A lot of good things happened today. All right, that's what's going on in our neck of the woods. That's what we're thinking about in the new fish that we got in. So now it's time to find out what's going on with all y'all. So let's do that. If you have a question or comment, please leave it in the chat now. Before we do that, though, I want to thank my moderators, because this would be a different stream without the moderators helping out. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Really appreciate you all. The first question I can see, by the way, if you put in dancefish or @dancefish or #dancefish, it'll turn into this bright orange box, and that's what I look for as I'm scrolling through the chat. These bright orange boxes, those are what I respond to. Also, this is as high as I can go in the chat. I can't go up higher than this. So if you left me a question or comment before this point that I'm showing you right now, which is after everyone, I think is after everyone joined put in for the giveaway, #yellow, then please leave it again. So Eric Wyrock says, I have found that L183s to be very oxygen sensitive. Funny you should mention that. We did a test here. Let me bring it up. Oxygen. See if I can find those results. I have to do it on my phone because otherwise I'll bring up my Google Drive or emails or whatever to find stuff on the live stream so I can talk about stuff like this. And once or twice over the years, I've accidentally shared that screen, and I am just so paranoid about accidentally giving away, like if it's my email and you see someone's private information, so I always do that on my phone now. So here's what we did. We ran a test with shipping bags with pure oxygen in the bags and atmospheric oxygen. What we've been trying to do lately is find some equipment to automate our shipping process, because it is the most labor-intensive thing ever to prepare fish, pull them, let them sit overnight, clean them, seal them, box them, you know, individually bag them, send them in their little private travel pods, as we like to call them. It's like so labor-intensive. So we found a unit that we think could shave 30 to 40 seconds off the process of sealing each of those bags, which is a ton. That's hours a day we would save with the volumes we're doing. So we wanted to do it. The problem is that unit can't work with pure oxygen. So we were like, okay, let's find out how important pure oxygen really is. Is it that much different for a fish being shipped with pure oxygen versus atmosphere? So that's why we did this test. Here's what we found. Water in bags with fish and pure O2, a daily, we simulated shipping. We did all the stuff, and they were in the bags for 30 hours, sealed up. After 30 hours, the O2 readings were 14.5 milligrams per liter. That's a lot of oxygen that's been dissolved in the water. We have a dissolved oxygen meter. 14.5 milligrams per liter. Like, I don't know, what would you say? 6 to 8 is, like 8 is really good in an aquarium. So we're like almost double a well-oxygenated aquarium. Water in bags with fish and atmosphere had a dissolved oxygen reading of 3.5 milligrams per liter. So 14.5 versus 3.5. And the kicker is fish can actually start having problems with that low of oxygen. So you don't want it to drop like below 5 milligrams per liter, really. I mean, I'm generalizing. There's different kinds of fish that have different oxygen needs, but 3.5 milligrams per liter is not good, especially compared to 14.5 milligrams per liter. So it really does help to put pure oxygen in the bags. Now, we did one thing. The fish that we did this test on were platies. And we did not fast the fish before we bagged them because we wanted to see like, you know, worst case scenario. So they had pooped in the bag. So there was some microorganisms in there and some stuff that was probably uptaking some of that oxygen, but it wouldn't have had a massive effect, I don't think. We also did this test with no fish in the bags as a control. The water in the bags with pure O2 and no fish had an O2 reading of 17.4 milligrams per liter. So the fish were utilizing about 3 milligrams per liter's worth of oxygen through the respiration and such. In the water in bags with atmosphere and no fish, so really clean water, no fish breathing, nothing decomposing, had a reading of 7.4 milligrams per liter of dissolved oxygen. So based on that, Eric Wyrock, when you say I have found L183s to be very oxygen sensitive, I totally understand that. Like a lot of the plecos live in places with extremely high flow in the river, and they like a lot of current and high oxygen content. But ours, in a worst case scenario, are getting 5 or something milligrams per liter oxygen when they're being shipped. So I don't think it was low oxygen that did it. And I'm not seeing anyone else chiming in about that, although chat could have cut it off. I might not be able to see it until I watch a replay and look in chat to what other people's experiences have been with the L183s. But yeah, we're having a little trouble shipping them, which is odd for us. So I'm trying to figure that out. Aquarium Co-op, nice to have you. Oh, is Corey here? Hey, Corey, welcome. Good to see you if you're still here. All right. Scrolling here. Gummy Smith. Got my order yesterday and everything arrived all well. Almost 20 fish, fat and sassy. Even more awesome whiptails. Oh, those whiptails are the best. Folks, I know this is going to sound salesy, but I don't think I usually tell you guys something's good and then have you experience that it isn't, right? I think that that's true. Oh, are we out? Shoot. Are we calling them something else? I think we're marbled. Marble? What I'm looking for, here they are. This fish is absolutely amazing. These came from a farm in Israel. This is the picture when we first got them. Nice long whiptails, good fat bodies. I don't think we lost a single one. They've been doing awesome for us. They've doubled in size now. Look at these nice long filaments. But they've doubled in size now. They are fat and sassy and ready to go. So if you like whiptails but have like avoided them because, ooh, you know, a little delicate, I don't know, these aren't. These are aquarium bred and raised in Israel. They haven't gone through all the stuff that the wild collected fish go through. And they come from a source that apparently is parasite free and everything, because they're doing tremendous for us. So I would encourage you to check those out if whiptails are something you like but that you've been scared off of. I guarantee you these will do well. If they don't, let me know. Send us an email at hello@dansfish.com and we'll refund you the cost of the fish and the shipping associated with that fish. So it's kind of a, financially there's no risk to you, and those are going to do awesome for you. I got another review recently that said, I want to read it. It was nice. And we had a doozy of a review today. Really bad one, but normally they're really good. Yeah, to the very top. If anyone wants to read just a scathing review, we got one for you to read. It's at the top there. But this one, yeah, I'm going to share this one with the crew tomorrow. Ordered 51 fish, received 51 fish in fantastic condition and packed perfectly. So very happy that I used Dan's fish for my aquarium fish. That's what we like to hear. Yeah, when people can order and they get them in good shape and they can order with confidence, that's what we're trying to do. It's live animals, so there's no way we're ever going to be perfect. There's always going to be a few outliers. But right now, it's 98.55% perfect for the last 12 months. So we're doing our best. But yeah, I was at when I spoke to the Keystone Clash, I did a thing where I said, who here has bought fish from Dan's Fish? And those folks stood up. And I said, okay, how many of you have lost a fish from Dan's Fish that you ordered from us? One person had. Stephen P. 2003 Aquatics had lost one fish that he'd bought from us. So I said, okay, how many fish have you ordered from us in total? And it was like over a couple hundred. And then Kelly Foreman got up and said that she hadn't lost any, and she had ordered, I don't know how many, few hundred maybe. And then someone else got up and said, well, I've ordered over 1,000 fish from Dan's Fish, and I've yet to have a loss. We checked later, and it was more like 600. But this person had ordered a ton from us, and they've ordered several more since. And they finally did have their first loss a couple weeks ago. But that is what makes me feel good, when someone can order literally hundreds of fish from us and have no losses. That's what we're trying to make happen. And I think that's most people's experience. But when you ship in the volumes we do, there's always going to be, man, I'd be so thrilled, shocked and surprised, because statistically this would be almost impossible, but I would be so thrilled if we ever had another week where it's like, we didn't lose a single fish in shipping this week. That's what we're going for. But anyway, Gummy Smith, I'm glad you like those whiptails. And yeah, they really are something else. Spinster Sister, hello Spinster. Hi Fish, will Fish Mop Santa, I forgot about Fish Mop Santa, make an appearance this season. We're gonna have to do that. Thanks for reminding me. I literally had forgotten about that. Yeah, I will have to construct another Fish Mop Santa beard and make that the giveaway sometime this month. I'm gonna write that down. That's a good idea. And I literally had forgotten about that. I think also, for those that have been asking, we've looked at the calendar. I don't know, I guess holidays is why I thought of this, but I think we're gonna try to do the 4th of July barbecue again this summer. It went well last summer. I looked at the dates. I think the 4th of July is like on a Thursday or a Friday, something like that. So we could do something that weekend. So yeah, I'll get the details out to you later, but I think it's something we're gonna do. Jacob Metzner, hi Dan, can you give us your recommendations for setting up a tank for the red-chinned Platies? Can they be colony bred? Yes and yes. And Jacob, I got your email. It's been such a crazy busy day. I haven't responded yet, but it's all good, brother. No worries. And I'll respond when I can find a moment here. But this fish, so that's DJI, this Platies. This is an absolutely beautiful little killifish. Not only that, but it's super easy to breed, Jacob, and colony breeding for sure. I've bred lots of them in a colony. Now, the top was choked. Back in the day, I think it was water sprite, and I think I had Sylvinia in there, like the kind of one of those giant forms of duckweed. And the babies would just hang up in the water sprite and in the long roots of the Sylvinia, which I'm probably butchering that name, but I'm not really a plant guy. But they would hang up there, and yeah, I raised quite a few babies in that colony. It was a no-work colony. But these guys are absolutely beautiful. They're hardy. They're prolific. They jump, so have a tight-fitting lid. But this is the firemouth Epiplates, red-chin, panchax, whatever you want to call them. Epiplates DJI Monrovier, to avoid confusion. And for setting up the tank, that tank that I bred a ton in was a 20-gallon, a standard 20-gallon. I think I had it wouldn't have been all the way full. I probably would have had it a little over half full. And I had those floating plants in it. I also had a big clump of Java moss in it. And that's really it. Besides that, it was probably a bare tank. I doubt there was gravel in it or anything like that, because my intention back then was breeding. So squirt in some baby brine shrimp, once a day, a couple times a day would be better. And the babies will eat that. Feed the adults, they'll eat anything. They eat flakes, they'll eat little pellets, they'll eat Vibrobites, they'll eat any floating food really. And they love fruit flies. If you can culture wingless fruit flies or flightless fruit flies, they will be your friends forever. But really, that's all you have to do. If there's enough plants, the babies will just appear. Hunter McLaren. Hey, Hunter. I have been feeding wingless fruit flies to my clown killies, and they have been loving it. Speaking of, yeah. Are there any other non-traditional live foods you've had success with? Oh, let's see here. With clown killies specifically. No, I can't think of, I'm trying to think of small floating live foods, and the floating is the bugger. There's like micro mealworms, but those are about a 1/4 inch. That might be, and they're a little kind of maybe wide for a little clown killie to get down its gullet. But maybe look at them, see what you think. Micro mealworms, they're basically a beetle that lays an egg in flour. You just grow them, and you take whole wheat flour, you put it in a bin, a couple inches of that. You put some of these beetles in there, you put a piece of cardboard over it so they have something to crawl under, and then you don't do anything for months. That's it. You don't have to water them or anything. They get all the moisture they need just from somehow eating flour. They're a desert dweller, I'm assuming. And they'll lay eggs, and they'll basically create these little mealworms. But they're a micro species, so the mealworms are only about a 1/4 inch. So that, and they do float. So that might be worth looking at. Besides that, tiny little live foods that float, because that's what you want for clown killies. I'm kind of striking a blank on that because of the float part. Rhonda Fitzpatrick. I have a 55 with around 20 nanofish in it and planted pretty good. I run a sponge filter and a hang-on back. Do you think I could ditch the hang-on back? Absolutely. 20 nanofish in a 55. You probably don't even need the sponge filter. I mean, keep it because you want some surface agitation, and a little redundancy is always good, but heavily planted 55 with only 20 nanofish in it, you're good. If it's like a well-established tank, that's going to have all kinds of nitrifying bacteria all over the plants. If you have gravel or whatever, it'll be all over that. As long as there's some water flow over that stuff, the whole thing will act as one big filter. So yeah, you can get rid of the hang-on back. Sponge filters, though, those are always nice to have just as a backup and to get some surface agitation. What's a better dither for CPDs? Chili rasbora versus pseudomugils? I think I'm going to say chili rasboras just because they're a little more sedate than pseudomugils. Pseudomugils are a little more active, maybe a little quicker to the food. But honestly, they both work great. So I think you would be great with either one of them. Okay. Tracy S., thanks for being a member for 2 months. I really appreciate it. I smashed the like button. Did you? I like how you think there, Tracy. Oh, yeah. Any fish will do. Love the username. Happy holidays. Oh, well, thank you. Happy holidays right back at you. And thank you so much for the generous super chat. Always appreciated. Never required, but it's helpful. Xanadu. Been a member for 16 months. Xanadu is one of the OG members then. 350 watching. Woo! And 50 likes. Come on, folks. This group can do much better. Hit the like. 361 now. That reminds me, if you have someone in your life that you think might enjoy this stream, if you wouldn't mind sharing out with them and letting them know it's happening. We are trying to grow the channel. We are trying to grow the stream, and your help would be greatly appreciated. Fish Frenzy Addiction. Hello, is the giveaway a pair? Yes. Or unisex group. Awesome giveaway. It's a pair. So I'll give you a pair of the Highfin solid gold, solid yellow Highfin Platies. Yeah. I know y'all want to be breeding those fish. J. Russ, I'm breeding blue flame paradise. Ooh, just like the ones on your site. If you're ever interested in getting more in. J. Russ, if you ever have like 50 to 200 available, let me know. I mean, right now we've got several available, and we got to move them before I can bring in a new batch. And they're a little pricey. I think $19.99. You know, that's not cheap for a paradise fish, but for a new paradise fish that's as pretty as those, I think it's a decent price. But I guess what I'm saying is, yes, I'm very interested. I'd always much rather buy fish from a hobbyist than from the supply chain. because supply chain, even the best folks in the supply chain aren't as good generally as a hobbyist would be, because hobbyists, man, we're looking at the fish, we're like checking them every day, we're like, wait a minute, it needs to eat more. We're definitely making them fat and sassy. Dan Brown, I use both the new Aquarium Co-op sponge and the lift tubes in the coarse pre-filter sponges. Both are very good, doing what is advertised. It's amazing how much flow the new uplift tubes. Yeah, the uplift tubes, the new easy flow kits. Like I said, I don't get excited about aquarium hardware because I don't use hardly any aquarium hardware, but I saw that and I was like, yes. I think their light's pretty good too. I got a Co-op light because I wanted some nice lights for when I photograph fish, or, we occasionally set up like a show tank here and take video for the background like we're watching back there right now. And want a nice light for that. And so the Co-op sent me a light, and it's sturdy, man. The casing on that was sturdier than my Fluval, which blew my mind because I think Fluval's a darn good light. So I really like, so far, again, I don't do a lot with aquarium hardware, but so far the stuff I've been exposed to from the Co-op, I've been very happy with. And I didn't expect any less. Like, I've been following Corey for years. I know he's a dude with standards and integrity, so, it doesn't surprise me. Any updates when you guys will be getting more Leopoldi angelfish? Asked Leo. Leo, I almost brought some in from Europe, but Johnny, what was the price? We were going to have to sell them for like, was it like $160 a piece, I think, is what we had, something like, maybe it was only like 130, but it was a lot of money. So I do know a breeder in Europe that can supply them, but man, I didn't think the market could bear the price, so that's one I did not bring in. I brought Leopoldi in before, wild collected ones, and I can get them occasionally. I think half the hobbyists that get them are like, these are great, and half the hobbyists that get them are like, these aren't Leopoldi, these are Scalare, and I don't know how to tell the difference. So, yeah, I'd love to get more in. I guess what I would say is, as soon as I can find some at a price that I think the market will bear, I will definitely be bringing more in. But that doesn't happen often. Stephen P. 2003, Aquatics gifted 5 Dan's Fish memberships. Not Stefan, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Hello to you and Jenna. Appreciate both of you. Chris Ladd, I emailed you guys about my copper mollies the other week. Just wanted to let you know they responded well to treatment and are all looking healthy now. All right, Chris, I'm glad to hear it. Was there ever a definitive thing about what they had? I remember a discussion about copper mollies, but I don't remember the details. If you wouldn't mind reminding me. But I'm glad to hear they're doing well, because those things are amazing. And they're not cheap either. Those copper mollies are, yeah, expensive. Someone asked, any word on CW111s? I haven't yet found the source I would need for those. Kelly Foreman, not to be outdone by Not Stefan, also gifted 5 Dan's Fish memberships. Thanks, Kelly. Kelly, thanks for your continued support. In fact, everyone here, it's amazing. You guys have been so supportive, and some of you have been supportive consistently for years. Thank you. Thank you. Will you be getting any Nanostomus equus? Why, yes, we will. Exactly when, I'm not sure, but that is one of the fish that I do bring in when they're available from the supplier that I trust. Mitchell Broom. Mitchell, hello, my friend. My group of marble Sturasoma I got from you a while back are doing great. The whips are super long. Yeah, I need to do a video of that tank to show what they look like now. Fat, sassy, and the whips are, the filaments are really long. Yeah. Hope they breed for you, Mitchell. Gummy Smith, I have now bought 6 of those whiptails from you. Awesome, I'm glad to hear it. And I'm glad to hear they're doing well. That's, whew, right? When you're live in front of the public making claims about you're going to change the industry and be a force to make sure the industry treats fish with respect and all that. You're making these claims, right? And you're saying, hey, we've got all these fancy processes and stuff that we follow, and we figured out how to get them to you alive, around 99% of the time, just a little less than 99% of the time. We say all this. And then you have to go live publicly in front of people and talk about your business to be transparent so they know it's actually happening. And I don't want to say it's dangerous, but I don't want to say there's anxiety about it either, but it's real. Like at any time someone could say, nope, he's a liar. I bought all these fish and they're not doing well. Someone else could chime and be like, you know what? I had the same experience. Dan's fish sucks. And like, it's taken years to build this reputation, years. And it could be destroyed in 5 minutes. It's just always on the back of my mind. Ooh, so I'm glad to hear that you bought them and they're doing well. Cool videos from a cool guy. I had green sailfin mollies come from Florida that were shipped, and they got fungus and nick after a 3-hour acclimation due to the supplier saying the fish can handle the temp change. I'm sorry to hear that. Do be cautious though about deciding we know what the issue is. I don't know what the temp change was, and drastic temp changes that are sudden and permanent can stress fish for sure. But after bringing in as many fish as I have from as many different places as I have, and working with working with the veterinarian we had in residence this last summer, I've learned that a lot of my assumptions about what was happening are not what was actually happening. So that could be what it was for sure. But I'm just saying, unless we have done the testing or whatever, or worked with the professionals that can do the diagnoses to actually know, I think a lot of times we're guessing. And I've been amazed this last summer while we were working with the veterinarian. I was amazed at how off I was on so many things. And I'm a guy that's been doing it for 30 years, and I've seen, I don't know, countless numbers of fish that have gone through my hands all through my life, not just in the last few years, since I was a teenager. And what I don't know is stunning. So, all right, any fish will do. Oh, thanks again, Any Fish, for the super chat. Robert Whitaker does great work and has a great mission. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Do the work that will fulfill the mission. So your Kelly Casper, send the pics to hello@dancfish. Did Kelly have a problem? I just want to scroll up and see. Have you ever seen pug-nosed, bristlenose plecos? I get about 1 out of every 100 fry, talking's hard. They're completely healthy and so cute. I wish I could send you pics. Oh, do. Yeah. Send them to hello@dancfish.com. No, I've never heard of that. No clue what that is. Generally, I'm not like big on body deformities in fish, but I do like Highfin live bears. I think they're just stunning, and every now and then there's a fish that I'm like, you know what, I do like, I feel like I shouldn't like that. There's pressure to not like that, but for some reason I do. Maybe this will be one of those. I got to turn up I feel like I'm a little dark today. Oh, now my forehead is shiny. So this is the problem with being bald. You can't win. David Allen, thanks for my order this week. Cardinals and Corys are doing great. Giant Emperors, oh, you got the Giant Emperors, are settling into a 210-gallon South American community. Oh, you lost one? I'm sorry about that. David, if you didn't already, and I don't think you did, because I don't think I saw that on the death report, the shipping death report. If you wouldn't mind emailing us, hello@dancfish.com, we want to make sure we take care of you on the one that you lost. Sorry you lost one. There's so much unknown. Like, I've literally had those fish for months. I raised them up from about 1 inch, and now they're, what would you say, David, 3 inches? Something like that. Maybe a little bigger, a couple of them. Now they're big, they're fat, they're sassy. I've had them forever. We ship them in large bags with plenty of oxygen. I'm sure that water had like 14.5 milligrams per liter of oxygen in it. So they would have been great. And one died overnight still, even though those have been like in my personal care for months and months. So, man, there's just so much we don't know. Anyway, I'm sorry to hear that, and please reach out so we can take care of you. Fish Hunter, I just read the bad review. Yep. I served 20 years in the Army. In my humble opinion, service members should never be so disrespected. Yeah, I don't recall. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that. I try not to dwell on the negative, but the reason I called out the bad review is because I did this whole review roulette series, right? All these shorts on YouTube where I would scroll on my phone and whatever review it landed on. And by the way, I had all pages selected. So it wasn't just the top page. So it could have been any review that we've had in all time. And I read review after review after review, and eventually I ended it because they were all like good. But we do get bad ones occasionally, and yeah, we've been dealing with that one today. And I don't want to, you know, I don't know. Everyone approaches the world differently, I guess. But you know, we did what the guy lost one fish in his order. We refunded him the cost of the fish plus the cost of shipping, which is standard for us. And that wasn't good enough. On top of that, they were insisting they get discounts and stuff. And we're just like, we don't do that. So, yeah. But we don't have to dwell on it. But thank you for the support. You know, at the same time, you know, maybe there's something to what they're saying. Anyway, yeah. When we do get a bad review, like a truly bad review, like a scathing review, it's so shocking because it happens so infrequently. Like, I really do think, I don't know what more we could do as a company besides give everyone discounts, I guess. Apparently. Like, I don't know what else we could do to be sustainable and have better customer service. Like, I think Johnny's amazing at his job. But I'm sure there are things we could do that I'm just ignorant of. So I do read all the reviews and the emails too when Johnny tells me there's a problem. And we do, occasionally someone will bring something up and we're like, you're right. In fact, let me show you an example of that. We did have one the other day where I was like, that person actually is absolutely correct on that. And it's a little unfair of me, I suppose, to, I don't want to bash the guy that left the review on my stream because I'm surrounded by people that are on my side, right? So that would be like a gang of like-minded people going over and being like, and calling someone out who's all by themselves over somewhere. Because we're all, I think everyone wouldn't be here unless they were like, you know, on board with what we're doing generally. So, but this is one that was right. This person said, I wouldn't order the longfin tetras. These were the longfin neon tetras. They all arrived alive and well packaged, but many of them had their tails torn. Apparently they're fin nippers. Actually, I don't think they're that bad of a fin nipper. This batch arrived to us and the tails were rough. I mean, it's aesthetic. It wasn't affecting their health, and I thought they could still go out. But I didn't take the time to do this. If that had been listed in the description, I wouldn't have spent so much money on them. I would just stick to the regular neon tetras. Update. The customer service responded with a refund and updated the description of the fish, 5 out of 5 for customer service. Yeah. So, but that person's absolutely right. We had a fish that arrived, and for some reason that batch arrived with tails that were rough. I don't know what happened during the shipping process, but when they arrived to us, the tails were like that. But they're still healthy, so I was like, yeah, we can still sell those. But between Johnny and I, we failed to update the listing to say, oh, by the way, this batch came in with the tails kind of rough. So they're healthy and it'll heal, but just be aware of that if you want to buy them. So the customer is absolutely right. So when we run into that, we do things like this. Hello, Caroline, your criticism is absolutely correct. We should have included the fact that the current batch of longfin tetras, blah, blah, blah. So you know, it's sometimes people call us out and I'm like, oh yes, they're right, and thank you. Now I can go fix that so the next customer doesn't have that problem. So when people call us out, sometimes it's very useful. But then every now and then it's just like, I don't know what to tell you. You're mad because I don't give discounts. Okay. Let's see here. Jacob Messner, let's get more green in the chat. Join the Fishmonger crew. Heck yeah. We do like our memberships. Killers Aquatics and Reptiles and Aquatics. Throwing down some Pippi Longstocking. Every now and then, Pippi, whenever Pippi comes up, I'm like, oh shoot, is it almost 8:30? Right. Is it almost time to end the stream? But this time it's not. Thanks, Bob, for the support. And Fluffy Cow Aquatics. Hey, Fluffy Cow. Needs stocking ideas for 100-gallon planted. Needs all 3 layers, nothing too large. Already have an Oscar and a huge common pleco in a 180. I don't have a lot of experience with adult Oscars. I know sometimes they can be quite aggressive, but I know they aren't as aggressive as, like, you know, I don't know, like a wolf fish or an umba. Wolf fish, wolf cichlid. So I imagine some things could be kept with them, but I literally don't have any personal experience with full-grown Oscars. So I don't think I can direct you on that. People here, if you've kept Oscars long-term, would you let us know in the chat what other fish species you were able to keep them with so that we can help Fluffy Cow out? I mean, come on, with a name like Fluffy Cow, why would you not help him out? That's just the best name ever. The Real Chimera says, I was wondering, Dan, if you buy fish from only specific people or do you buy them from smaller sellers such as myself? I got a few strains of glassbelly guppies from Fish Forever. No, I buy from hobbyists all the time. I have some criteria. I need to be able to sell the fish at a 4x markup from the landed cost. So if it costs me $1 to buy the fish from you and get it shipped to me, let's say $2. If it costs $2, okay, backing up. If it costs $1.50 for the fish and then 50 cents to ship that fish to me, then that's $2 is my landed cost. I need to be able to mark it up 4 times my landed cost. That's the only way I can stay in business operating the way I do. Our expenses are really high. Our labor costs are really high because of how we treat the fish and how we package and ship the fish. Our system is extremely expensive. We literally have a municipal quality water treatment system here in the warehouse. So we can pull fresh water from our local creek, clean it up, heat it, put it in the tanks, clean it up again, cool it, and return it to the creek better than we found it. That's how we care for our fish. So all that is good for the fish, but expensive for us. So that's what we have to do. So be aware of that. If you're willing to sell them to us so that we can do a 4x markup from our landed costs, then that works for us. And we need the fish to be in quantity. We can't buy like 6 fish. You know, I like to buy 50, 200, 500. If you had Celestial Pearl Danios, I'd buy 1,000 of them today. So as long as you have the minimum numbers that we would need to make it worth dedicating a tank to that fish, and we can make our markup, then yeah, absolutely. Reach out, hello@dansfish.com. That's HELLO@dansfish.com. There's lots of folks here. I'm sure in the chat that we bought fish from. So yeah, anyone here in the chat, if we bought fish from you, would you mind confirming so the Real Chimera knows? Any fish will do. Here's $5 to give the crybaby that didn't receive the discount on top of free shipping, a refund his dead. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. Again, I don't want to gang. I appreciate the support. Trust me. Because whenever you get that, it like gets in your head. And then you're like, why is this taking up my mental space? I could be productive. Why am I actually spending time on this? There's no way I'm going to make this person happy. So I'm just going to let it go and keep working. But so, I appreciate the backup, but I don't want to gang up on the guy. That's not what I want to do. Her Wade, well, maybe I do want to do, but that's not what we should do. I did stop what may be the fungal infection from the honey blue eye rainbows I got from you. Lost 3 out of the 8, unfortunately. Are you trying to acquire more? You lost 3 of the 8 Melis? Oh no. Wait, I'm so sorry. Anyone else, if you bought Melis from us, did you have problems as well? I'm praying that was an isolated case. I'd like to find out. If you got Pseudomugil Melis from me, did you have, what was it, a fungal infection? Did you get a fungal infection as well? Please let me know, because if so, I need to do something about my source for those. But yes, I will get more in. It's not going to be until at least the spring before I can do that. But anytime I can find Melis, I will get them. Yes, and I do have a breeder for them. Scotty the Fish Freak, after watching your video, I have bought my first heat sealer. Wish I could have seen your talk at the class so I know how to work this gadget. Well, we've got a little video on how to ship fish on the YouTube channel, and it's I think it pretty much has all the information there. It's like an early video, so it might not be the best production quality, but I think the information's sound. So yeah, check it out. Good to hear from you, Scotty the Fish Freak. Bardsdale Goldens. I absolutely love the Manicapuru redback angelfish. Unfortunately, it was over my budget. I hope you're planning to bring in more. I am saving. Still love my bumblebee gobies. Did anyone what did you guys think? Anyone that actually purchased those Manicapuru angels from us, do you like them as much as I do? Like, I seriously think they were the best looking Manicapurus I've ever seen. But I'm curious what everyone else thought. They were beautiful. Wendy is sidetracked. I fed tubs of rice fish mosquito larvae out of stock tanks. Yeah. There seem to be many species. One is large and hairy, and kind of like me, right? Anyone ever had those injuring fish? I had a fish in distress after eating one. Yeah, I don't know, Wendy. From what I understand, mosquito larvae is like just good stuff for fish. Hey, there's a good live food for the clown killie fish person. I don't know how you culture it, but during the summer you can harvest it. But yeah, Wendy, I don't know what a big hairy mosquito larva would be. Passing wind. My friend told me they just got a new fish tank. They hadn't got many fish yet, so it's still in the beta stage. See what he did there? Or what they did there? I'm not sure Passing Wind's gender, but yep. I got a fish tank. It was new, so it's still in the beta stage. I love it. Are you a dad joke guy? I can just picture you driving your kids nuts with like pun after dad joke after dad joke, Passing Wind. Ginger Coats. I have those gobies, very cute fish. Yeah, the Stiphodon annier, absolutely stunning. I think that's the one we're talking about from earlier. Spinster Sister. How can I order some new stuff, some new off side filters from Aquarium Co-op and connect you with the, so there's a link in the description to this live stream. So if you go down and look at the description, it'll be in there, and I will also pull it up for you real quick. So if you go to our channel and click any video, and I'm going to pause it so it doesn't play, and go down to, go here, then here it is right here. If you click on this link and then order from the co-op, then we get a little cut, and that's helpful. So I'm going to post it there. Oh, I can't. Hang on. There's got to be a way to do this. Maybe. Okay, let's follow the link. And go there. It should let me do that. Yeah, now it's happy. So there you go. There's the link. And then if you go to the Aquarium Co-op and go shop for live fish, then you have Aquahuna there and you have us down here. And if you click on us, then you'll save 5% and Aquarium Co-op will get a portion of your order from us. So do that too. And by the way, we have other affiliates too. I don't want to neglect them. We have Steenfod Aquatics, we have Simply Betta, and we have Alex over at The Secret History Living in Your Aquarium, or what is it called now? Fishtory, I think. So also good. But what I'm enjoying about the co-op is you order from them on our affiliate link with them, and we get a little cut of what you buy from the co-op, and vice versa. So just, I like the reciprocal nature of that. Oh, Chad just jumped. So the next one I can see is this. I literally can't scroll up any higher than that. So if you posted a question or comment and it was above this section that I'm showing you now, and I didn't get to it, that's because I won't, because I can't see it anymore. So feel free to post it again if you want. Cool videos from a cool guy. I agree, I'm treating for fungus right now. Going to treat ick next week. If it doesn't get any better by next Tuesday, bad bald vibes? Hey, yeah. Shoot. David Allen says the fish was very stressed after acclimation. Yeah, do reach out. We want to take care of you. Okay, are there any breeding projects going on in your operation, or do all your fish come from other suppliers? The majority of the fish come from other suppliers, but we did breed and raise some really nice platinum mollies. Let me show you those. So this is a molly that we bred and raised, and he's our stud now. He's the main breeder of our group. So we do have some of his siblings available for sale. Some of them look like him, some of them look like this, some of them look like this. So just to show you kind of the variation on them. The fin variation. The color is mostly due to exposure and camera parameters. They're all pretty consistent color-wise. So anyway, that's one. I mean, this guy's just, I love this guy. I just think he's absolutely stunning. Oh, I'm not showing him, am I? Jeez. This guy. This is one we bred and raised, and he's our main stud. So these guys are beautiful. We also, the Xiphophorus milleri, the Catamaca libear. Oh, we don't have any available right now, but we have a breeding colony of these. We have a breeding colony of Perugiae. These guys. We have a breeding colony. We have several breeding colonies, but mostly we source. Our business model, it doesn't, I know this is going to sound odd. You'd think breed them yourself, you'll save money, but once you put in the time, labor, and real estate that they take up, tank space, it doesn't make sense for our business model to raise a lot of fish. So we do it for funsies mostly. Cool videos. I want to get one giant Emperor Tetris so bad. Do you have any sales on them? Well, yeah, they're on sale for like, we don't have sales, but this fish, oh, we're out of them right now. Is that true? Johnny, do we have a few we could list? We literally sat on these for months. That's why they grew from around an inch to over 3 inches on me. I don't know why, but people just didn't buy them. Maybe it's my bad pictures. But enough people know what this fish is. I was really surprised it didn't sell. But we were selling them for like $9.99, which is a massive sale. I'd have to sell these for around, I think normally they should have been like $34.99 or something. But they didn't move, so I knocked them down to $9.99 to try to clear the tank so I could put something else in it. They still didn't move for months. I don't know why. I think they're beautiful. I think they're amazing. But that's one of those cases where you know, I think something's cool and the market disagrees. Robert, I just left you a 5-star review. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. Like we have, how many reviews do we have? We have 1,478 reviews. We're not hurting for reviews, and we're still at 4.95%. You know, I mean, if you scroll, you'll see very little. There's pages and pages of reviews. Where are they? Here they are. See them all. Like you could go for a long time and see good reviews. We don't change them. We don't alter them. We don't. Oops, what happened there? See, every now and then something happens, but in general, it's all good stuff. But again, I appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Any fish will do. I work in a grocery store. Dealing with the public is tough. And there's certain customers you'll never make happy. I don't care what you do to help them. They just want to take advantage. Yeah, that's true. I'm not accusing this customer of that, but that is true. And there's something else, which is like 1% of the people cause 99% of the problems. So sometimes you have to decide, is it worth hanging on to this person, whether it's a customer, an employee, or whatever, or are they one of the 1%? Or is this just not worth the time and effort? So, sure. Tony Adams, good evening, everyone. Sorry I'm late. I'm curious, Dan, have you ever considered getting an app? Not a deal breaker or anything, just curious. Well, I use lots of apps. I listen to podcasts on apps and stuff when I'm cleaning tanks or pulling heat packs or other brain dead work, because then I can learn about business and stuff while I'm doing that stuff. If you're wondering, does our business have an app? No, but our website is very phone friendly. We built the website so it works smoothly on a phone. At least I believe it does. I think over half our business is done on the phone. So yeah, but no, we don't have an app, just good internet functionality on a phone. Aquatica 87. Do you have any female EBDJs, electric blue jack dempseys? I'm sure we do. That's these beautiful little, beautiful little fish here. These bright blue fish. But I don't know if I can sex them yet. So I'm sure there's females in the group, but I don't think I can select them. Mel Wool, any hope of finding CW27? Brevirostris? Corridors Brevirostris. I only have the 2, and they are always together and won't school with my Paleatus. They breed every time I turn around. Yeah, that's Paleatus for you. Paleatus and Aeneas. Corridors Brevirostris. Let's look at this fish. Oh, so there are, yeah, we've had them before, it looks like, the 27/154. Let's see, where did, they came out of Colombia. So it does look like a fish that we've had before. If you add it to your wish list here, just click this green button, go to the site, go to that item, click that green button. Then when we can get it in again, then you'll be notified by email next time it's available. Now, I don't know when we'll be able to get it again, but if I see it and it's from a supplier that I trust, then yeah, I would bring that fish in. I like kind of the gold up here, like the Adolphoi or Duplicarius type gold shoulder up there. I think that's really pretty, contrasting with the black. Okay. Sounds like the bad review got triggered. Yeah. Yep. They wanted a military discount, and we don't give discounts. And so, yeah, they got upset. The rusty nut, if you buy something like non-common plecos from a hobbyist, would your quantity numbers be a bit lower? If it makes, so the economics of this business are, imagine you own a restaurant, okay? This is a scenario most people know, and it's the lunch rush, and you have 10 tables. And the lunch rush lasts, say, 2 hours, 11:30 to 1:30, something like that. Okay, what you need to happen is you need the tables to be full, and you need to turn them a couple times, right? You need to get as much profit, as many sales from each table as you can during that time. So the square inches of each table becomes worth a certain amount. Well, it's the same with aquariums. We have a certain number of aquariums. An aquarium is like our table. We have to have a certain dollar amount of fish in each aquarium so that aquarium can, what we call, pay its rent. There's a minimum, like we have operating expenses, and there's a minimum amount each tank needs to provide to the company every month to pay its monthly rent. And if it doesn't, we go out of business, right? Then that tank is costing us money instead of making us money, and that doesn't work long-term for a business. So we have to make sure that when we utilize a tank, we have enough fish in it of the right kind, sold at the right dollar amount, that that tank can pay its rent. So if I only buy 10 fish from you, that's not going to work. That's not enough dollar value of that fish to make that tank pay its rent. And remember, those fish are housed by themselves in that tank for at least 2 weeks during quarantine. Longer if they need to. We have fish sometimes that are months in quarantine. And we can't take that real estate to do that for a few fish. Now, if it was 10 like L236 super white plecos, then that would work because that's a high value fish and that dollar amount would pay the rent for that tank. But if it's another fish that's not, you know, a high dollar amount, then it wouldn't make sense. So that's the game you're playing. It's, I've got a limited number of tables in my restaurant. I need to sell items that are expensive enough that during the lunch rush, I can make the profit I need. And I need to put as many people at those tables as I can to maximize that. And I need to turn those tables a couple times. So that's the kind of the scenario we're working with here at Dan's Fish. Razzle dazzle. Would it be possible to add resources, additional info menu for links to helpful, reputable info? Yeah, that's something we could do. The problem is as soon as you link out, then you're responsible in some way for the thing you're sending people to. That's really the problem. And I literally don't have the bandwidth right now to vet that. I know there's some good things out there. Like, I get that. But it is something that I hear you. It just adds a little level of complication to things and worry that I literally just don't have the bandwidth to handle right now. I was here when someone requested adding wish list button to in-stock fish. Nice new feature. Oh yeah, I don't know if we ever circled back and showed people. I think we did, but if we didn't, we listened. We thought that was a great idea. And now if a fish is in stock, but you're not ready to buy it at that time, you can still just add it to your wish list for later. Yeah, that was something that was brought up during one of the streams, and we're like, that is a great idea. And we talked to Jonathan, our software engineer, and we're like, would this take 4 months to implement, or is this like just a couple hours? He's like, yeah, I can do that in a couple hours. So, you know, got it done. The splendid beta. Last week, you briefly mentioned 4 medications, praziquantel, metronidazole, flubendazole, and levamisole. Could you talk more about whether they can be used together or what you would recommend? Okay, I'm not recommending anything because I'm not a veterinarian. But here, I can tell you what we do. I can't recommend it. But what we do is we treat prazi, metronidazole, flubendazole, and salt together. We don't mix metronidazole with, or I'm sorry, levamisole with those medications because we found levamisole can be pretty rough on fish. So levamisole we treat by itself. With salt is fine, but We don't treat it with other medications. So yes, Prosimetro and flubendazole we use all together with salt in a, what is it, a week-long soak at a time, I think. In levamisole, we do a few treatments and they're spread apart. I think they're something like 7 days apart, 8 days apart, maybe 9 days apart, something like that. But I'm not recommending that. I'm just telling you what we do. Retro Fish! That shipping video is how I found your channel. Just ship some pea puffers to trade for plants. Yes, that's exactly right. Yep, swapping and shopping. I love that part of the hobby. Xanadu. Oh, he's talking to, oh wait. All my Pseudomugum mellis are doing great, even with my crappy water right now. Yeah, I know Xanadu is going through like a municipality change with his water. So did anyone else have any issues with their Pseudomugum mellis? Hang on, I'm just scrolling real quick to look at that. Ryan, do you think there's a market for Liberty mollies? All about 3, wondering if it's worth breeding them. Yeah, I would buy them for sure. I have some right now, but I don't know how we'll sell them. I bought them from, I think those came from Aquarium Glacier, and I ordered like a certain quantity that made sense in a certain size, and then I got something different, and they're very expensive is the bottom line, what that turned out to be. So I honestly don't know if anyone will pay the price we need to charge for our Liberty mollies, so I might just turn those into a breeding colony here. I mean, literally, if they don't sell, they'll just be breeding, so that's kind of the default. Hang on, I'm looking here to see if anyone else... So it's good to know, Xanadu, that your mellis were fine. Did anyone else chime in on that? Okay. All right. So at least one other person didn't have the fungus issue with the mellis. That's good. David Allen sent the email with additional details regarding the Impertetra. Hope it helps, and certainly not concerned. Shipping is stressful, and I know 100% impossible. Thanks. Yeah, thanks, David. It's just our policy. If a fish arrives and like dies overnight or something like that, and it's not clear that it's like, oh, I had an ammonia spike or whatever, like, you know, we just want to take care of that. Like, we try to be reasonable about it, but sometimes we work with a customer and we find out, oh, they put it in a brand new tank, and well, why don't you test for ammonia? And they do, and it's got a ammonia reading. It's like, okay, well, let's work with that. Let's solve that issue. But in general, we want it to be a fish arrive in dead or in poor shape, that we're responsible for that. We want to take the... it's so weird how this industry puts that onus on the customer. Like, it's also weird how when there is a problem, you know, you're not refunded usually, or if you are, you aren't refunded shipping. Like the old, like, okay, we'll give you store credit. It's like, why? So I can buy more fish that will die? Like, I mean, I get it economically why they would do that, but there's fish people out there, fish stores out there that owe me lots of money, that I like kept doing it, redeeming the store credit and redeeming the store credit. And I was like, wait a minute, the credit just keeps growing because losses just keep accruing. This isn't worth it. Let's cut that off, right? But we want to put that onus on us. I think that's what it should be. I think in most industries, the onus is on the person supplying the product. Let's call fish products for a second. I know they're live animals that deserve respect, but for the sake of this discussion, let's call them products. Like, where can you buy a product, and what other industry do you buy a product in, and if it arrives in bad shape or broken or whatever, that's your fault, right? That just doesn't make sense to me. And the other thing is it keeps us, our business model is such that we will fail as a business. Our business will fail if we don't actually do what we're trying to do. So it's built into the model that we have to be successful at shipping healthy fish to people. like the vast majority of the time. And we actually value the feedback when something goes wrong, and it hurts to process the refund, but we want, it's necessary, that's a necessary pain for us to feel as a business, because it keeps it front and center for us how important it is to not skimp, to not cut corners, to only sell fish that, as far as we know, are healthy and fat and sassy and will thrive for the customer. It's something that we should feel that pressure and we should feel that pain. So it keeps us on mission. Huck, throwing down a $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Oh, and P. Mellis. My Pseudomogo mellis are flourishing. Do you have a guess for how much longer till they'll start spawning? Approximate size? Maybe similar to Luminatus? Yeah, that would be my guess. Similar size to Luminatus. I've never had full-grown mellis. I've only had them twice. I brought them in from a breeder. Each time they came in as, you know, fairly small. And so I've never seen them full-grown. And I don't know when they start spawning, to tell you the truth. But I'm assuming around mellis, around a Luminatus size. So that's two folks that got them and didn't have the fungus issue. So that makes me feel better. Because if everyone was like, yeah, I got the fungus too. Yeah, they had fungus. Then it's like, that's something we got to figure out what's going on with our source in that case. It's 8:26. Well, shoot, I better do the giveaway. Thanks, Kaler's Reptiles and Aquatics, for letting me know with a little pippy in my step. Appreciate that. So the giveaway today is for what I think is a super, super cool fish. It is the solid yellow Highfin Variatus Platy. Kind of a unique fish. And there are 289 eligible users. I'm just curious how many people are here. 390, that's good for us. Yeah, anytime we get up around 400, that's like pretty darn good. All right, let's pick the winner. The winner is Sharkfin Adventures, also a member of the channel. Thank you so much for being a member of the Fishmonger crew. Greatly appreciated. So Sharkfin Aquatics or Adventures, you know the drill. You have 2 minutes to say something in chat, because you do have to be present to win. And I'm going to start my Google timer here for 2 minutes. There we go. And it's going. Okay. All right. Xanadudu, thanks for giving an additional 5 memberships away. That's so helpful. A certain percentage of those memberships are going to keep renewing, and that little bit of residual income trickles into the company, and that's super helpful. We appreciate that. Oh, Fluffy Cow Aquatics says, sorry, was asking for community stocking ideas for a planted 100-gallon. Looking for medium to small fish since I have so many large fish. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were saying you're looking for community fish to go with an Oscar, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know. Big Steve's Aquatics and Exotics, thanks. Thanks for gifting away the membership. I appreciate it. Cheers, my friend. All right. Okay, here would be like an ultimate nano fish tank for me. I would do a whole bunch of threadfin rainbows for the middle section. I just think threadfin rainbows are amazing when they do their sparring and breeding behavior and they flutter those fins. For those that don't know this fish, I don't even have any available. Like, it's not like I'm trying to sell them. I just think they're amazing. This fish right here. These are fantastic. Like, when they do this, what this picture can't show you is how they dance while they do this and how they vibrate these fins super rapidly. They're just stunning. So a big tank with a big group of those in the middle, I think would be amazing. Then on the bottom, I'd put a whole bunch of cories, any kind. I think a whole bunch of like a small cory would be great, like Pygmaeus, Histatus, Habrosus, something like that. I like big schools of small fish. And then for the top, oh boy, what would I do on the top? I might do marble hatchets. I might do dwarf hatchets, pygmy hatchets, marble hatchets, something like that. There's also some lamp eyes that tend to be up towards the top, some lamp eye killifish. A whole bunch of clown killies would be pretty awesome as well. So whole big groups of small, beautiful fish is what I would do. All right, let's see here. It has been, I think our 2-minute timer is up. Sharkfin Adventures is here and has won. Can you give to Crown Tail, please? Yes. Crown Tail, if you're here, would you email us with your first name, your last name, and your mailing address, and we will get that pair of platies processed for you as per Sharkfin Adventures request. So Crown Tail, if you're here, please do email us. And if not, then Sharkfin Adventures, is there any way you could get a hold of Crown Tail and have them contact us? We want them to do it because, first of all, we want to know that the person you're giving the fish to wants the fish. We don't ever want to send fish to someone that's like, I don't want these, or I don't know what to do with these, or yeah, these are great, but I don't have space for them right now. You know, we don't want that. And then we need to know, you know, where to send them and get the shipping all arranged. But yeah, Crown Tail, if you'll email us, hello@dancfish.com. That's HELLO@dancfish.com. First name, last name, mailing address. We'll get that process for you. Okay, we're going to sign off. It has been a long day and I'm very tired. But I want to appreciate you all for being here. I want to thank my moderators for modding. I want to thank the members of the Fishmonger crew for being channel members. I want to thank everyone that did super chats and threw money at us. That's amazing. And even more amazing is those that gifted memberships. Thanks for gifting memberships. That's just awesome. Anyone lurking, hail the Lurker Nation. If you're listening to the replay, hello from the past. And if you're listening to the podcast, that means I finally got a whole big group of these posted the podcast. So yay for me. And thank you for listening. We'll be back next week, same bat time, same bat channel. And there might be a mop beard Santa. We'll see. Bye-bye.